Hello friends, welcome to Creator Based Software Training Center. Let us discuss about exception hierarchy. Exception hierarchies is our topic. In Java, the class which acts as root for all Java classes is object. So object class is the root class for all the Java classes. The same way, the class which acts as root for all Java exceptions and errors is throwable. So throwable is the root class in exception handling. So throwable has two child classes, exception and error. So throwable class acts as the root for Java exception hierarchy. Throwable class defines two child classes. One is exception, the other one is error. So exception. Most of the times exceptions are caused by our program and these are recoverable. Okay. Most exceptions are recoverable. For example, if our programming requirement is to read data from a specific location at runtime, if that file is not available, then we'll get runtime exception, right? See, if our programming requirement is to read data from a specific location at runtime, if that file is not available, then we'll get runtime exception saying file not found exception, right? As discussed earlier, if a particular file is located in a particular location and if we are trying to access that particular file from that location, and if that file is not available at that location, we'll be obviously getting a file not found exception, right? If file not found exception occurs, we can provide alternate file and continue rest of the program normally. So exceptions can be handled, right? So how are we going to handle with the try catch? So read data from in the try, whatever code we find it there is a chance of getting an exception. We put that into the try block. So read data from e folder, picture some slash pick one. Okay. So if that file is not available, it throws an exception, file not found exception. So we can use some alternative file in the cache and continue with the rest of the program normally. Okay. Error. Most of the times errors are not caused by our program and these are due to lack of system resources. Errors are not recoverable. If out of memory errors occurs, being a programmer, we cannot do anything and the program will be terminated abnormally. If the error is like out of memory, then programmer will not be able to do anything. That is the responsibility of the system admin or a server admin to increase the heap memory. So let us see the hierarchy of let us see the exception hierarchy. So throwable is the root class of all the exception in the other. So throwable class will be having two child classes. One is exception, the other one is error. Okay, exception class in turn will have so many exceptions classes, child classes, runtime exception, IO exception, servlet exception, SQL exception, remote exception, interrupted exception, like that. So many other exceptions are there. Under runtime exception, we'll be having arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, class cast exception, index out of bounds exception, and under index out of bounds exception, it will have another classes like array index out of bounds, string index out of bounds, and coming to illegal argument exception, number format exception. IO exception will be having another child classes like end of file exception, file not found exception, interrupted IO exception. A similar fashion, error also will be having so many other subclasses or child classes. VM error. VM error in turn will be having stack overflow error, out of memory error, and assertion error, exception initialize error. Like we'll be having so many classes. This is basically the hierarchy, exception hierarchy. It would be like this. Basically, the root class of all the exception is throwable. Throwable will be having two child classes, exception and error. These two child classes in turn will be having several other classes. This is all about exception hierarchy. Thank you guys.